Good afternoon. I am Angelica Lee, President of Red Lobster, and would like to welcome the chairman of the organization and the board of directors. I would also like to welcome Dr. Marnie Davis and anticipate her feedback on today's presentation. I will briefly show you a few concepts that leadership has laid out as a plan for our near future. In 1968, Bill Darden became passionate about making seafood for everyone, regardless of one's geographic location, socioeconomic status, racial identification, religious affiliation, or gender. Bill Darden partnered with Charles Woodsby to franchise the restaurant. 2 years after its inception, Red Lobster caught the attention of General Mills, and General Mills bought the first few Red Lobster restaurants. In the next 30 years, Red Lobster built over 700 locations with almost 17,000 employees in almost every state in the U.S., including Puerto Rico, Canada, Ecuador, Japan, Mexico, and Thailand. In 1983, Fortune magazine started a list of America's most admired companies, analyzing over 8 qualifications known as the 8 dimensions to include innovative, social responsibility, corporate asset utilization, human capital management, fiscal health, long-term profitability, quality of product or service, and management quality. The list is public information on Fortune magazine and important because the 8 dimensions encapsulate stable, financially sound, and progressive companies that are revered among all businesses. Red Lobster is restructuring its organization and looking for avenues to minimize its shrinkage. We lack innovation leveraging our current vendors, ingredients, and material. Also, the quality of products have declined and thus need a reinvention of specifically our value menu. We should reinvent some value items while better utilizing our current list of ingredients and vendors. A recent article in Crisis Innovation studied five-star restaurants and their ability to remain agile to adding or removing dishes from the menu. May 2024, Red Lobster Management files Chapter 11 bankruptcy and closed 93 stores due to poor performance. Additional stores will close unless there is a substantial change in driving new business to the chain and creating a larger base of regulars. Less stores means a smaller national impression in the industry, which leads to less brand recognition. If Red Lobster does not change its course, it will be forced to close all of its stores. Current organizational structure at Red Lobster is primarily hierarchical and divisional. The company reaches some global markets and thus different divisions are in charge of certain geographic areas. In the US, the 500 plus stores are managed in a transactional method by hierarchy. However, we would like to transition all leadership to center in on servant leadership. The company's focus has been almost entirely on customer satisfaction, but it might be to our own detriment. Red Lobster has not invested enough into transforming its leadership to a modern way to serve others, including our customers, but also all stakeholders within Red Lobster. The lack of focus on all stakeholders has created a funnel of attention on just the consumer, and we have neglected other equally important parts of the company. According to Noticias Financieras, conscious capitalism and corporate social responsibility are not options, they are necessities in building a better future. Innovation in menu offerings, asset utilization, and better management will help the company redesign itself. Our vendor list and supply chain is one of the best and most secure in the country. We have options. We can trim some of our higher cost items, and through creativity and innovation and add new menu selections to attract new interest and appease our base following. Asset utilization can be optimized by using our current vendors and reinventing certain products and services in such a way where it is perceived as fresh, new, and worth a try. Red Lobster needs a revamped marketing campaign and adding new interest to our menu. Would do it. Lastly, we'll form a shift to servant leadership and make all stakeholders priority. Focus into conscious leadership and create a robust conscious culture. While visiting different stores over the past 18 months, I witnessed a strong culture, but one that was so strong that it had difficulty making small changes to an out of stock item. The strong culture is consistent with formal management execution. We will make changes to remain agile and adapt as necessary to an ever changing chain of supply and demand. Secondly, at one of our stores in Texas, I observed a slightly different training program that Red Lobster did not formally approve, and thus our informal culture is impacting our our new hire onboarding. The informal training program might have some benefits, but we want to remain uniform and consistent. The staff and I spoke with the staff I spoke with informed me that there was inconsistent communication from corporate all the way down to the local store operations. They felt confused and left to translate their next moves alone. It was brought to our attention that the company's open door policy is not promoted, nor is it recommended because local operations dissuade employees from speaking to upper management so they don't quote unquote stir up problems. We want to review the gaps between formal and informal culture and make them more uniform to offer better support to all. Raj Sisodia, one of the pioneers of conscious capitalism, says there are four tenets to being a conscious capital company. We have lost focus on three of those. The tenet we hold strongest is higher purpose. Bill Darden wanted to bring delicious seafood to the masses, regardless if one was near a body of water. Bringing seafood across the U.S. is Red Lobster's higher purpose and creating a memorable experience while doing so. However, we have lost connection with stakeholder orientation, conscious leadership, and conscious culture. As agents of change, we will follow Dr. John Cotter's 8-step process for leading change. At Red Lobster restaurants, there is an intense sense of urgency as we are already in a bankruptcy and recently downsized. As we formalize changes, we will create teams at each store to guide the rest of the staff through upcoming changes. We will effectively communicate our strategic vision for all staff to know how we will change and why. Creating buy-in from staff will be necessary to carry the business forward. Therefore, we will call upon all divisions to volunteer and rally behind the changes and look at our transformation as an opportunity and not as a threat. Within the new phases of change, we will track all immediate wins in the transformation and will reward them with accolades and small gifts. Once we have launched our new strategic vision, we will conduct regular temperature checks to gauge our sustained acceleration into our new phase. We will press our strategic vision until the new vision is embedded into every location as our new normal. Transition management will come in phases, and challenges will include concern or even fear from current employees. Innovating a new company perception and creating new food items will create doubt within some employees and create intrigue or excitement in others. The biggest transition will come in our move towards conscious capitalism and servant leadership. We anticipate some resistance, but once we allow people to know their role within conscious capitalism, I believe they will be willing to take on the challenge. A potential subsystem realignment could come in the form of adding more team leads that can speak to staff daily on how to manage change and process it. Red Lobster will focus on two primary strategies to include differentiation and growth strategy. The unique service and product at Red Lobster has not been highlighted often enough these last few years, so we'd want to emphasize our service and remind the country why Red Lobster started and the vital service it provides. There is an education that comes with trying new things, and for more than half of the country, having access to seafood builds awareness to other parts of the world. Organically expanding Red Lobster's footprint is our primary goal. Thank you, Board of Directors, Chairman, and Dr. Davis for your time and attention. Do you have any questions?